Hi, I'm Sean.
I'm Rhonda.
Let's talk about some things that you can do when you need to work through an issue with your spouse that are going to set you up for a positive resolution.
Or set you up to fail. So let's talk about some things that people tend to do. I would think more thought processes, ways of responding that can damage the dialoguing that needs to happen when we're working through issues.
You know, sometimes we're doing things that are making it difficult for our spouse to really connect with us, and we need to pay attention to what we're doing that's contributing to that, making it difficult for them.
And so we got this information from How to Have That Difficult Conversation You've Been Avoiding, a really good book by Cloud and Townsend. So one thing that a person might be doing is shooting the messenger.
Oh, gracious.
The person that's presenting an issue is viewed as a problem or having a problem.
Yeah. So in other words, you're the one with the problem because you have a problem with me.
You know, because a lot of times we don't value what's a problem to our spouse. And if we're really one, what matters to one, what the other one thinks, should be every bit as valuable to me as what my spouse is thinking.
So if you have an issue, then I have an issue because we need to resolve your issue.
And so if I'm looking at my spouse as what's wrong with you because you think that way, you feel that way, or that's a problem for you. If it's a problem for the spouse, we need to slow down, really hear the spouse out. Why is it a problem? How does it make you feel when this or that is happening or not happening? How would it make you feel if there was a change in that area, if you got what you're asking?
Another attitude that we need to look at is rationalization, and this is really where we're making excuses for this. Well, this is why. If you hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have responded that way.
Or my response was justified because you did this, you kind of deserved, you kind of asked for this kind of response.
So we're really, in that case, we're reducing our responsibility instead of taking responsibility for what I did to contribute to it.
And you know, a person can blame the spouse and say, we're in this state because of you, but no, both people contribute to this. And if we continue doing these negative ways of interacting, we keep getting the results we've been getting. If you want it to change, you have to be able to identify, what am I doing? What is my contribution that's making this continue to cycle negatively? Not just, well, if my spouse would change, we would be okay.
Minimization is where we're taking it less serious than our spouse. We're not treating the issue that they're bringing up as something that's really important that needs to be addressed.
It's not that big of a deal. Why are you making a mountain out of a molehill?
Oh, goodness.
Isn't that sad? Can you imagine if you had something important to you and your spouse responded like that? Well, it's the same way if you do it. You're basically taking something that really matters and acting like it really doesn't. It kind of takes away the voice of the spouse. And then instead of he plus she equals we, it's he or she equals me. And somebody becomes invisible in that particular area.
You know, we're just really not paying attention to and making important what's important to our spouse in that. Blame, that's where we're saying that someone else is guilty for the problem.
I said what I did because, you know, you were talking in a sassy way or a harsh way. It's your fault. You're the one that did this.
We wouldn't be dealing with this if you had not done that.
And let's say that can be the case, but it still doesn't legitimize your response. And so if one spouse did something that was wrong or not appropriate, maybe they did so unaware and that you've not made them aware yet, but whatever the reason, it doesn't make your response now okay, because one wrong doesn't make it right.
So much of this comes down to personal responsibility and us taking responsibility for our own behavior and actions and contributions in the relationship. You know, we're probably all familiar with the little sign that one of the presidents long ago had, "The buck stops here." That's kind of a statement that says, I'm taking the ultimate responsibility for the way things are turning out.
Because when we stand before God, we answer for ourselves. It doesn't hold up to say, well, I did all those bad things because my spouse tripped me up. And it's like, well, no, we have our own relationship with the Lord. So really, are we so that anybody can make us do whatever they want? Or do I have some sort of decision making in
Yeah.
this? And do I answer to the Lord and say, Lord, I want your will to be shown. I want you to be seen through me. How do you want me to respond to my spouse? I don't have the right to respond in a carnal way, not as a believer.
Yeah. Another thing we need to look at is denial. And this is a person that's really denying that any issue even exists.
Or another thing is projection, seeing the problem in another person instead of seeing it in ourselves.
Yeah.
Isn't it easy to see the other person's problems, deficits, faults,
yeah.
and not see my own?
Yeah. And what did Jesus say? But to get the speck, to be able to get the speck out of your brother's eye, you've got to get the log out of your own eye first to be able to see that clearly.